Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to Strange Antiquities. Though not quite the same one that we were playing last time around. No, this world is similar to the old one in many ways, but the key difference is that in this world, we do have pages for the Holgen Grim. Yeah, it turns out that while the save games from the original demo were technically compatible with the full launch build, there were some small but key differences between the demo and the launch build, with the most notable one, the one we just happened to stumble across on day 5, being the missing entry for the Holgen Grim, which we were supposed to receive on day 2, but which, fortunately, we were still able to resolve based on other context clues. So, all in all, not the end of the world. That said, though, just out of an overabundance of caution, I did go ahead and rebuild our save anyway, completely in the launch build this time, but otherwise should be more or less identical to where we left off last time. So we'll just continue from here, starting with our latest dream card. Up the stairs, left, then left again. Second on the right is where I spend each night, which immediately makes me think master bedroom. But following the stairs, left would put us out in this weird balcony area, so that's probably not it, unless they're implying the room across the hall. Whereas if we use this stairway, left... Oh wait, left, yeah, okay, and then second on the right. Okay, so not the master bedroom. The directions actually push past it, regardless of which stairway you use. Both put you right out over here, near this marked room. Yeah, it's a bit more abstract if you go up the main staircase from the front foyer, but they do both put you here. Nice. The bedroom looks like it hasn't been used for some time. A thin layer of dust coats the furnishings and cobwebs decorate every corner. Pulling back the thin curtains lets some light in, but more importantly, they reveal a macabre item that has been hiding on the windowsill all this time. Oof, I hate that. Yeah, we just got the finger. Man, hands and teeth, both direct tickets to Nightmare Town. I look forward to the day I don't have that in my immediate line of sight. Sorry, sweetheart. Helena, Appleton. I can never get any peace in my house. When am I to find time to do my writing? I've tried beeswax, but that makes my ears sore, and besides, I can still hear the shouting and banging at all hours. I heard you might be able to help me. You know what? I think I can, because we already know what this is. It was a pendant we just... Yes. We looked at this when we were trying to ID the Sunstone. That's got to be our St. John's Anvil. Nice. The leaves in the design are similar to the leaves in the sketch of the plant. Closer inspection reveals it does indeed muffle sound. Which nets us notes on Gray's Grace. Worn as a pendant to dispel melancholy, they share the design of a shadow catcher. Which means we already know what it is, because we know the shadow catcher design from this, the shadow hold, which we handed off to our first customer, which in turn points us to this. Or actually, no, it was our second. The first customer was Thomas Pope. Thomas Pope and Hamish, who we just got a letter from on day 5. He was the one who asked for the Hunter's Boon. Yeah, that's another benefit of having just rebuilt our progress. Since now, of course, I've got all the details fresh in my head again. Next. Barton Potter. You must be the thaumaturge's apprentice. I bet he's a hard man to work under. He's helped me out more than once in the past, though. And speaking of the past, my eye has been aching again lately. That can't be a good sign. I'd be willing to make a fair trade for an Elva stone if you have one. Which eye? Are you another... Oh, no. The Relic Hunter, Barton Potter. Intelligent, affable, heroic. These are the words that Barton Potter would use to describe himself. Irresponsible, impulsive, and foolhardy are some of the more tasteful terms that those who have dealt with him might use. One thing is not in dispute. He knows how to track down objects, and he certainly knows their worth. He's also no coward, and he bears the scars to prove it. He's one of the few who have ventured into the depths of the catacombs and lived to tell the tale. And tell the tale he does, at the slightest provocation. Nice. I'll have to give him a more over-the-top voice next time he comes in. Elva Stone. Elva stones can be used to relieve the discomfort caused by otherwise incurable ailments, such as Braxis or burning blood. The planetary metal used in these items is associated with the Selenic discipline, a connection that is also reflected in their design. Okay, planetary metals, that's like the basic alchemical classics, gold, silver, copper, iron, other. Lead? Alchemists are always trying to turn lead into gold. Selenic implies moon. I mean, I'd also associate it with silver specifically, but planetary metal includes other materials as well, so it could just be something moon-shaped, but crafted of any planetary metal. Sleep Vessel, we already ID'd that. That was a 6-pointed star. Doesn't really help us here. I mean, at a glance, most obvious contenders are these up here, so I guess let's give those a gander. Silver, obvious moon motif, stone. An ethereal quality, interesting. Not sure if ethereal is what I would use to describe curing ailments. But otherwise, I would say that that's probably our strongest contender. Let's see what the other two are made of. Bronze. Bronze is not an alchemical metal. But gold is. Tip is warm to the touch. Stone base, planetary metal tip, crescent moon shaped. So it's the first or the third. Though I guess I shouldn't immediately rule out the second. Let's ID that stone. Round cut pinkish gemstone. Moonstone. Selenic. Okay, well, you know what? I was going to rule that one out because I want to say bronze is not a base alchemical metal. I think it's a compound metal. But now we're doubling down on the Selenic motif. Stone of Protection. I could see that potentially warding off disease. Main body is made of stone. 2, 3, maybe even 4 moon images on the crest of the statue. Yeah, all right. We'll give it a shot. Here we are, Mr. Potter. No? Okay, fair enough, I guess. Then this one. Right, moon motif, silver. Really should have stuck with my first instinct on that one. I even kind of clocked the bronze thing, but then talked myself back into it with the moonstone. Yeah, I hate to say it, but I guess that's fair. Though, man, yeah, that really does also show that they're getting pretty tricky here, because it could have easily been that first one, too. Oh, wow, a full-on artifact. And a pretty precious-looking one at that. Yeah, I guess that tracks, given that he's a relic hunter and all. That's pretty cool. I mean, honestly. Wow, yeah, that's just like a straight-up treasure. Even ignoring any intrinsic magical properties. Pleasure doing business, Mr. Potter. Hope to see you soon. Also, when he first came in, I kind of assumed he was our fill-in monster hunter. Since we had a monster hunter back in the first game, who also sported, I think, an eye patch. But no, this one's something slightly different. Next. Verona Green. I've been doing some reading. Let's see what you make of this. Okay. Ambra. These items cause mental fog. A withering of intellect and thought. They are slow to work, requiring several hours to have any effect. Through prolonged use, they can cause the whites of the eyes to turn black, and the subject to become deeply disoriented. They produce a noctic field. Interesting. That fisherman they found yesterday had been up at Wyatt Beck, so I'm going to see if I can find anything out there. Here I go again, sticking my nose into trouble because I don't seem able to listen to that part of me that says, go put the kettle on and let someone else deal with it for a change. It's bloody-minded arrogance to follow that thought up with, but there isn't anyone else. But here we are, and here I am. They'd do it all wrong anyway. Yeah, probably. Considering how things could go in the previous game. Next. Francis Mason. I've been wearing a pendant that I found in the library, and it does something to me. It gives me an appetite for reading that I cannot control. I was lost in the library for 3 days without eating or sleeping before I managed to take the pendant off and escape. It is rather pretty, though. Someone told me that I need a Cusick purifier, and that this is the place to get one. Wow, really? Okay. I mean, sure, I'll see what I can do. Cusick purifier? A small topaz gemstone known as the Eye is placed in a strong-smelling liquid, usually some potent barley spirit or vinegar. Small tokens, such as rings or amulets perhaps, submerged in the liquid and left for a full cycle of the moon, are cleansed of simple imbued curses or hexes. Of course, there is a limit to the effectiveness of this process. I mean, obviously what she wants to do is a bad idea, but we don't have any options to turn her down, so I guess we're looking for some sort of container? Something with a potent smell, perhaps. Oh, you know what? I assumed that was like a potion bottle, but it might actually just be glass. Whereas this, obviously a container, very decorative. With a rotten egg smell. Not what I would normally associate with vinegar. That's more of a, like a sulfur thing. External trappings might just be a red herring, but we know moonstone is protection. That's selenic. Green glass, yellowed paper, cork. Very unassuming. But with a strong odor to it, and a rattle when we shake it. Okay, that's gotta be our guy. Here you go, Miss Mason. Really bad idea, by the way, but best of luck. I would say read the room, but you'll probably end up doing that anyway. Oh, okay, interesting. Valant. The holes in a Valant are of roughly equal size and spacing. They are used by the adventurous to help them find their way. A curious pulse can be felt where its power concentrates. Really? Well, we literally just met a very adventurous individual who handed us this device with equidistantly spaced holes and a warm spot right in the center. Oh, though this might be a more accurate representation of what was just described, so those I think are both our prime suspects there. Oh yeah, and look at that. A clue we overlooked, but one that was ultimately unnecessary. I do really appreciate that they give you multiple means of sussing out what the various puzzle solutions might be. I think that's one of the things I really love about this game, is just how simple yet also complicated the various aspects can become. Simone Green. I've been working on something that you might find interesting. Did you know that nobody knows who built Strange Antiquities? It's very old, perhaps the oldest building in Undermere, according to some accounts. Even Eli doesn't know all of its secrets. I've been decoding a journal that he found. It's slow work, but I've made a bit of a breakthrough recently. Have you discovered the plinths below the counter? I have. I've learned that they can be used to access the shop's hidden depths. And this journal holds some of the keys. Here's something I discovered late last night. See what you make of it. Okay. Yeah, the plinths. I don't remember if I messed with those back when we first started, but yeah, they're obviously part of some special combination puzzle. Just like the crank off on left. Or the button on the clock. The Librarian. Simone Green. Simone finished reorganizing the Ambleside Library and came to Undermere in search of a new challenge. She took up swimming in the lake after hearing about the health benefits of cold water, but soon found that she preferred the health benefits of a warm blanket, a roaring fire, and a good book. Right there with you. She manages the collections at the Wordsworth Library, following in her mother's footsteps by taking a special interest in occult writings. Oh, okay, so she is related to Verona Green, the occult scholar. Yeah, Verona is a carryover from the previous game, but I want to say Simone is new. So that's pretty much all our key players, minus one, which I am assuming will be our most villainous. I believe back in the first game, we had similar parallels for every character slot. Monster Hunter instead of Relic Hunter, Witch instead of Priest, Banker instead of Artist, which I do think means that this last slot is likely our cultist stand-in, essentially our villain. Let's get a look at this combination. Alcove Key, Hornshackle, Evocant, and then a moon something. The writing is dense and spidery, so it's not always easy to decipher. Also, Sigil of Protection, which we also have on our countertop. And the first two items we already have ID'd. That's the Evocant and the Horned Shackle, which for us is basically like a stone paperweight and a little wooden goat figurine, which just leaves the moon something, which unfortunately doesn't really narrow it down as we just recently saw. Though it could be our Moonstone Guardian, which I'm going to say is probably the bust we just tried to pass off to Mr. Potter. No? Okay, wow. I mean, it might be our Moonstone Guardian, but it's definitely not part of our combination. Nor is that... What else? What else do we have that might qualify as moon something? Nope, not our Elvis Stone. I mean, I could just try to brute force it, but that's cheesy. Though tempting, I mean, I could just start cycling items in, see if one finally opens it up. Since we're only missing the third item in our combination. But no, I'll resist. We'll see if something comes to me. Yeah, we'll we'll see if something comes to me. I don't want to just brute force through the puzzles. We'll keep an eye out for anything related to moons. Next. Jim Wolfe. After years of working in a thundering mill, I'm afraid I'm quite deaf now. I've tried St. John's Poppy, but I'm looking for a more permanent solution. I would love to be able to hear my niece's laughter. Well, you know what, Mr. Wolfe? You are in luck because I know exactly what you're looking for. But since we may not have looked at the actual entry before. Hearing Charm. A simple trinket that amplifies sounds. While generally used by the hard of hearing, they are a curiosity that can be enjoyed by young and old alike. And of course, they have more devious applications too, making it possible to eavesdrop on private conversations. Hearing charms take the form of animals known for their hearing. And yes, that's very obviously our bat amulet here. Doesn't get much more obvious than that. Hear, hear, my friend. Have a nice day. Veiled Fen. A veiled fen is brightly colored in the light, but it clouds over after a short period in total darkness. They can be used to command attention from individuals or small groups of people. Public speakers sometimes use them as a substitute for charisma. Oh, interesting. So that would be like a very colorful object we would stow in darkness for a while. Just to see if it changed. Though I'm not sure anything we've currently got would really qualify. Oh, right. End of day. But, you know, I hate to end before we know what to do with this plinth puzzle, so let me just get a gander here, see if there's anything else related to moons, perhaps. Oh, Moonheart, Selenic Totem, which we've already ID'd. That was like day 2? The owl figurine with the crescent brow. Or possibly the Kusik Purifier. We'll try both. That's the green bottle and the owl figurine. Hey, there we go. Okay, so right off the bat, first up we've got 2 more wooden coasters with engraved gold leaf, each bearing different symbols, so we've got a set of 3 now. But no other notable traits. Inverted female symbol. Overlapping Triforce. Crazy arrow. We'll have to look at those symbols. I want to say based on the uniformity, though. That's probably part of a separate puzzle. Antimony. Okay, so mundane elements. Antimony, arsenic. And what was the last? Oh, right. Crazy arrow. So, phosphorus. Oh, also, planetary metals. They list them right there. Nice. And then this looks really reminiscent of that amulet we handed out earlier. The binding seed? The one we gave to the woman to punish the thieving maid. Versus the Zaya, which we've tentatively identified but not confirmed. That's the bronze ram's head. And then a trio of wooden cups. Each sporting a slightly different design. Though again, the general uniformity would imply part of a future puzzle. Yeah, I'm trying to make sure to feel each one up because we know that we also are looking for a wooden item that changes temperature when it's raining. Gold paint, oak. Nothing all that notable. Sharp aroma. Purple stones. That's amethyst, I think. Sharp but not unpleasant odor. Nothing about temperatures, though. And I'm not seeing anything else of note. No switches, no hidden nooks or crannies we can interact with. All right. Well, I mean, we already got plenty. Though I might putter with that a bit more off screen if just to grab those candles. But yeah, I think we're otherwise pretty much tapped on things to do, so end of day. Starting to look a bit crowded again, but I'll worry about that later. Let's get some rest. Sorry, just already mulling on inventory. End of day 6. At camp that night, one of the pair had awoken with pain in his left eye. He was alert to the threat at once, recognizing 2 things at the same time. 1, a part of his mind was not his own. And 2, the casket wanted to be opened. Left eye, you say? Sounds like someone we recently met. The maiden in the tower points the way. I am buried among the trees. Oh, weird. Okay, so we'd be looking for a tower of some sort. And then from there, follow where a statue is pointing? Seems pretty straightforward, but I'll mull on it between episodes, since, yeah, this does feel like a good time to call it. I was hoping to fit 2 days per episode, but that's not super practical if we're already averaging a half hour per day. And our inventory here is a whole lot more complicated than it was back in Strange Horticulture. You know, there it was just plants. Here it's all sorts of things. We'll hit the pause button for now. I'll take care of the usual off-screen bookkeeping. And we will pick up here next time, as we round out our first week back in Undermere, which, just to put it in perspective, is like a third of the campaign. See you then. Oh, and special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to MiriV23, Revenant, Alois, Arrow Bowman, Dragon Matrix 7, Drakiith, EgonAlter, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, James Trimmier, Lady Shayna, Mark Giemza, Nathan Welch Jr., OverlordPherom, RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Thomas Pietkowski, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, if you'd also like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things. Trust me, it does make a difference. Or you could even check out the PayPal, the Patreon, the Nexus GG, or the YouTube memberships. Links are in the description.